So every project is about meeting with the client and understanding their vision, understanding their personality, and working with them to design something that's going to work for them and their needs and their taste and their style. We're not just taking boxes off the shelf and bringing them to your house and screwing them to the wall. We're building something for you that's going to speak to your personality and your style, and it's inherently yours. It's really meaningful to me when I get calls from repeat clients. We did a kitchen for them 5 years ago. Maybe we built out their office when they were working from home during the lockdown. We built a bar in their basement. Years later, they'll call me up out of the blue. Hey, we're ready to do another project, and we want to take a look. But when we've got these clients that we're so happy that they remembered you 3 years later, 5 years later, when they call you up after that length of time and want you to come do the next phase of their project, I really feel like that's really meaningful, and I take that as a huge compliment. When you're going to commit yourself to any path or any craft, it's incumbent upon you to learn as much as you can. You need to learn all the aspects of it. You need to learn different species of wood and qualities of those different species of wood, and how to work those different species of wood to achieve the results that you're looking for. A supply chain, what products are available out there to take craftsmanship to the next level, to add features. There's a lot to learn, there's a lot to know. It takes a long time to acquire all that knowledge and that experience. There's no substitute for experience. Experience, you only get experience one way. It takes time. RUNE started out in '07. When I started out on my own, I was doing all kinds of interior trim work, being general carpentry, interior carpentry, exterior carpentry, stairs, handrails, anything that I felt like I could build things that I would be proud of. Over the years, I decided I wanted to specialize into certain areas such as unit wall. In the last 5 years, we definitely upgraded location, built our team, upgraded capacity, quantity, but our capacity to produce quality. The thing that I'm most proud of is just the team that we've been able to assemble over the years. We've got great guys who really care about what they're doing, and that matters. That matters a lot. Everything's in-house. I mean, we work with you. We work with you on the design, understanding your objectives and your vision for your project. And everything that we do in-house is aimed at that ultimate goal of delivering what you want, what you have some insightful conversations with people on that level. Just being adaptable and having to shift on the fly. When we got there, we had no clue that the floor was dirt and like super uneven. We thought it was going to be in a convention hall with a nice flat, consistent floor, and it was going to be real easy to set up our display and our modular walls and our cabinets and everything. And you know, we hadn't even put up the door on the truck and started bringing things in. We're finding serious problems that very easily would have prevented us from even setting our food up. And we just had to go into problem-solving mode and figure out who to talk to, what are the options, and how can we address this, and how can we make it work. You know, I was pretty proud that in pretty short order we found solutions and we got shims and we got it figured out and we worked around and we still made it happen, and we were still set up and out of there in a couple hours, you know, and that's, every job is like that. You get out on site ready to go and it's never perfect. The wall is never perfectly straight. The floor is never perfectly level. There's always a window that's got that nobody told you about. There's always all these variables, and you know, you need to be thinking on your toes and, you know, about how you're going to adapt and overcome it. I think that part of it's fun. Just figure it out, make it work, make it happen, achieve the objective. Because we all three got together, you and me and Jared, and we're like, okay, what's wrong? What do we need to do? Who do we need to talk to? I'm going to go talk to this guy. You're going to go buy some shims. We're going to da-da-da-da-da. And we figured it out. We got it done. Like I said, we were still in and out of there in a couple hours. If we hadn't had to deal with that, we could have probably had that thing slapped together in an hour and be gone, you know. So, you know, that was a little bit of moment of pride. Whenever possible, we would like to incorporate custom elements into the project, or even if they're not super custom elements, they're things that are just cool features. Okay, so like in this example, we have a lot of pull-outs in this pantry unit as opposed to your typical adjustable shelf. They're super convenient, you don't lose things in the back, you can always grab the drawer and pull it out, and grab the drawer, and you're not going to get back in there through like stacks of Other custom features include built-in lighting. Here's a really cool example of how we incorporated lighting, not only into the inside of the glass door cabinet, we also were able to work it into these floating shelves here, which is also a really cool feature. Glass panel on the doors, this is something really cool and different with that. If you're going to light the inside of the cabinet, it's always nice to have the glass shelves, so all the light kind of goes through everything. Another cool custom feature is this cabinet here, where we have like the cool bonus drawer, where it looks like there's only 2 drawers in there, but really there's 3. We got cutlery dividers that we can put in drawers. That's a very inexpensive upgrade. Pull-outs such as spice racks, utensils, inset face frame doors. They're definitely an upgrade. There's a lot more that goes into dialing in all those little reviews between all the doors and the drawer fronts. The pull-out trash cans, the 2 cans in there, trash can to recycle. Also wine cabinets. We do a lot of wood countertops. They really are great for bench tops as an accent to incorporate into trying to impart my detail-oriented approach to everyone who's laying hands on the project. Everybody who's working on it needs to understand this job, what the goal is, what we're trying to achieve. Building a good team starts with just having the right guys with the right aptitude and the right attitudes, and just kind of taking it from there and trying to have I think one of the first major custom jobs that I did on probably close to 25 years ago now, easily over 20 years ago. But I remember it was a very big custom cabinet built-in job, and it was very specific. I mean, every shelf, every cubby in this thing was pre-designed for a particular knick-knack that the homeowner knew they were going to want in this one particular spot. There were speakers built in all over the place that needed to be sort of hidden and concealed. And there were a lot of unique challenges for me. There were especially challenges for me at that time. Still kind of learning things. This thing was a monster. It was 20 feet long and 20 feet tall. And it was a lot of shelves, a lot of bookcases, a lot of cubbies, a lot of thought and planning that went into it, aside from just the detail. First and foremost is attitude. That's so important. Secondarily, skill set is huge. What are their skills? What is their background? Just because we're framed houses for 10 years and we're really good at banging together 2x4s doesn't mean that they're gonna stand a chance at what we do here. It's a pretty specialized skill set. So trying to find some people who bring something to the table but are also willing and able to learn, that's super important, because a lot of people just aren't willing to learn anything new, or some people just won't or can't. I feel like wins are important, man, and having strong wins contributes to the team in so many ways. If everything is wrong all the time, that's going to create problems with confidence, right? Like trying to be encouraging can be difficult sometimes, but really celebrating wins is so good for building teams, man. It was designed right, it was built properly, it was delivered on time, it was installed properly, but the end customer's super happy, and it makes us all feel good. We all win. I feel like being good at what we do contributes towards the vibe being good. That's important. Leadership, I feel a big part of it is just leading by example, demonstrating how things should be done. I think the leader should always be leading from the front. Everyone has their role to play. It makes it easier to be a good leader and to be attentive and aware of everything that's going on. You've got a good team beneath you who is executing your vision properly, really making things happen. It all just kind of flows downhill. It like trickles down. Just being optimistic and having a good attitude and dealing with mistakes the right way. You gotta look at them as training opportunities, impart more skills, more knowledge, more attentiveness. Sometimes leadership is tricky. Because some days it's hard. We want it to be a personalized experience. Every job is different, every client is different. A client has a real specific vision for what they're trying to achieve. They have very specific things they want to incorporate styles of music. Every note has its place. When I first started on my own, the objective was just keep working. And I would take any job that came along.